All right, here we are yet again. I'm ashamed to say it, but after all the flooding and everything that happened over the summer and everything that's happened over the last couple of months, I've let the basement get out of control. I am so mad at myself for letting it get like this again. I spent 2 years going through this basement and finally getting it to a place where it was comfortable and it didn't feel so much as a basement. But here we are, it has gotten out of control. I think part of the problem is because it feels so gross just without the carpet down there. It kind of makes me just want to throw everything down there and leave it. So I made myself get up and actually get some stuff done down here this day. I told myself I was going to work one pile at a time because honestly, when I walked down here, I was just so overwhelmed and so anxious that I wasn't sure how much I was going to be able to get done, so I promised myself I would work on one section at a time, and if I had to stop, I would. But thankfully, I was able to get it all done that day. Now, the first thing that I'm doing is I just wanted to come through, get some of the major stuff off the floor. As you'll see, I put that little rug there in front of the washer, hoping to just add a little bit of comfort, but it did nothing but get dirty, so I just decided to throw it away. And then we recently had my son's graduation party, so I had bought in a lot of extra chips and things like that, which we didn't end up using that day. So I just kind of piled all those again in that same old pile that I used to have. So I decided to just go through, put some of that stuff away where it belongs, and get it out of the way. Now, I know I've heard before, I'm not quite sure where I've heard it, but when you have things piled up on the floor, it's almost like a threatening feeling, and that is so true. That was the hugest part of the problem for me, is when I would walk down there, I would just see all of this stuff piled up on the floor, and it was just so incredibly overwhelming. I didn't know what to do with it at the time, so I would just keep piling things on top of piles, and it led to this chaos that you see now. So again, I just went through area by area and tried to pick up what I could, put away what I could, and go from there. I have so many extra jars of, food. Like down here, I have jars of Hamburg, and I was actually going to get rid of them, but I've been figuring out ways to use up the canned Hamburg that I actually like. I can't put it in spaghetti, but I found a few other recipes. Here's one. It's basically a sheet pan quesadilla, and it came out delicious. I used a couple cans of the canned Hamburg that I've done, and I baked it all in the oven, and it came out really good. So that was one way. And then I found sloppy joes we like. So here's a picture of when it was all done and half eaten, and my whole family enjoyed it. So we'll be doing more things like that, and I was able to put it away, and now that I know we're going to use it. Another thing was I have all of these empty jars that I didn't know what to do with. They were piling up in the kitchen, and I bought these boxes to put together to just store some of them until I am able to get some more canning done and get my canning shelving a little bit more organized. I wanted a place to safely store the drawers, so I found these on Amazon. They were a pack of 3. Very easy to put together, and they're super sturdy, so that was nice. It came with, like I said, 3 boxes, so I'm able to now safely store my jars. So I just wanted to say a quick hello. If you're new to my videos, my name is Jen. We are a family of 5, and the last 2.5, 3 years now, I have been going through a major declutter in our home, and the basement was probably one of the worst areas ever. If you go back and watch some of my older videos, you'll see my basement was complete disaster before I started, and it honestly took me about the full 2 years to get it under control. So it was manageable and I felt comfortable down here. We had to go through a lot of different things. I was going through a stage where I was doing a lot of prepping during 2020, and I just had to really work through a lot of stuff there and go through quite a few things that I had to get rid of as well. Now, I still do like to keep, obviously, some food. As a family of 5, as someone who likes to do a lot of cooking and baking, I don't like to have to go to the store all the time for everything, so I do like to keep a supply of things in the house. If you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know in a couple of weeks, my oldest son is going to be moving out to Pennsylvania for a new job. He just graduated college, and I put a few things away for him. That way he can have a good start when he first moves out. So a little bit later, you're going to see that I'm going to go through some of our supplies, get some things together for him, and then we'll go through everything in the box together just to see kind of what I'm going to send off with him so he has some things when he first starts out. Another reason it was super important for me to get down here on this day is because we have been having trouble with ants this year. Now, sometimes we do have ants in the house around this time of year. I put out some traps and they go away. This year, it seems like they're the big black ants and they're not going away despite the trap. So I do have an exterminator coming, but I really wanted to go through because obviously when you have things that are left in piles, especially in a basement where we have had flooding and things like that, you're going to have more like spiders and things like that. So as gross as it sounds, it was really important for me to get down here, get the piles cleaned up, get everything clean, dusted, swept. And once my son moves out, we are planning to come down to the basement and do up his room completely. If you've seen previous videos, we did have to rip down a lot of his walls because the flooding had just destroyed some of the wood. So we ripped out the walls. Now what's left is the concrete down there. So we're planning to go through, completely renovate his room, and then we're going to work on the rest of the basement. We're going to repaint the concrete floors, and then I can put a new rug down, and hopefully we won't have any more water problems in the future. But that's another reason it was super important for me just to come down and get everything cleaned up, swept out, and dusted. After going through and cleaning up a lot of the basement, I realized that there was probably still some things that I could declutter, but that was not my focus on this day. I did go through and declutter some things, but looking back, there's probably more that I can get rid of. But my main goal on this day was just trying to clean, organize, and get things back in some sort of order. Like I said, there are some things that I knew right off the bat that I could declutter, and I did go ahead and do that. There was a lot of trash and recycling, like all of this cardboard. And here I'm finding like little spider webs that I want to clear out. That's the problem. I know that cardboard in basements can be an issue. I have a lot of it, obviously holding up the cans and things like that. We really haven't had any trouble with the cardboard, but those were all things that I am no longer storing up the way that I used to. Those shelves behind me, I used to keep completely stacked full of canned goods. We really just don't use them that often, so I do like to keep some to add into some meals, especially like the canned corn and the canned beans. But once those are gone, I have enough dried beans that I can just can them up myself and then store them that way. But the cardboard is nice to separate everything. It just keeps things a little bit more sturdy on the shelves. And eventually I would like to get rid of all of these smaller, like that shelf there, and then the plastic bins. I would like to get rid of those and just buy one larger, like enclosed shelving unit type thing with cabinets on it. That way I can kind of keep everything hidden behind closed doors, organize everything a little bit easier. But for now, we're just going to keep what we have. But that is the plan for the future. This is an air compressor that we have to keep in the house. I wish that we could keep it in the shed, but my husband wants to keep it in the house, so we do. And then over to the left is like all of our Christmas decorations and things like that, that this year I'll probably go through and thin out even a little bit more. But last year I was able to get rid of a lot more stuff and keep it just to that one area. We have another closet off my son's bedroom that we keep a lot of other things. If you've watched any of my other videos, you would have seen that closet. And here I am just going through. I really stopped buying a ton of snacks. I used to be the mom that would go to like my bulk store and buy hundreds of dollars worth of snacks. One of these 5 shelves unit we used to have filled with snacks, but I stopped that a long time ago. There's more hamburger in that bag, which is crazy. But at least now I'm finding recipes to use it up. But like I was saying, I stopped buying a lot of the snacks. I still occasionally buy crackers and Pop-Tarts and things like that. So just one small section where the kids know that they can come down and get those types of snacks. But I've really just been trying to buy more regular food, and then I will make our snacks homemade. I find when doing any kind of big clean out like this, it always seems like it's more of a mess until you're at the end. So I'm just trying to clear up as I go, getting rid of some of the things that need to be recycled, and then that box I'm using there is things that I'm going to donate. If you have any tips of how to clean a concrete floor, I would love to hear them. I think I'm just going to come down with like my mop and bucket and use a mop head that I can just throw away after. I think it kind of rips up the mop head, so I don't want to use a good one, but I might just buy like a cheap one and come down with a mop and bucket and some soapy water and just clean the basement floor. We're going to have to redo that all anyways before we paint it. So if you have any tips though of what's a good way to clean concrete, I would love to hear it.
Under neon bright lights when I see you dancing on the Polaroids. Just wanna have a good time, don't you? It all goes low, low, low. I don't wanna talk before the moment slowly slips away. Get a little dirty, baby, nothing you ain't gonna take.
Now this section here is probably the hardest for me to deal with. I cannot stand looking over and just seeing all of this stuff piled up around everything. You can't even get to what you need, so it drives me crazy. But it's not my stuff, it's my husband's, and I really didn't know what to do with it. There was a few things I was able to relocate just to clean up this area. I moved everything around, was able to dust and vacuum, so at least I got rid of most of like the dirtiness part of it. The paint is what we're going to be using to paint the floors. As you can see on the right where my son's room is, when we repainted his room, some of it just extended out past the door. So that's what it will look like underneath until we get some sort of a rug down. But my husband has this thing here. It's for his video games. He never uses it, but he does want to keep it. So I was able to put it over on a rack at my father's house. If you saw the video where I did his house, he's got the room that we can use for storage. I was able to put that over there. Those were just some like sticky tiles that I threw in the trash, and going through and just trying to find a better way to organize some of this stuff. Now, in that little lunchbox that I was holding, it has some things when my husband was doing some metal detecting, some things that he wants to keep, so that needed to find a home. And then some of the other stuff is just like tools, which would really be nice if we could figure out a better way to get all of this organized. The 3D printer he never ever uses, but he says he will eventually, so he wants to keep it. It's just really hard with little storage space to have all of these things that we don't use. But again, I also have things that are in the house that don't get used all the time, so we just have to figure out ways to store this stuff with very little space. I was undecided if I should keep those containers. I did decide to keep them for now. They just need to be cleaned out if we want to use them. I think above the washer and dryer might be a good place once I get that area cleaned up to maybe store a few things in those buckets. If I decide not to use them, then I will just donate them. Again, just going through and trying to clean up this area as much as possible. It's so hard when there's just so many little things that don't have a home. That is, I think, where the biggest amount of clutter comes in, is when you just don't have a place for everything to go back to. I have found in the upstairs of the house, mainly in like, the kitchen, the bathroom, and even in the kids' rooms, like everything now has a place to go back to. So it's easier to clean up than just having a bunch of random stuff out that you don't know where it goes.
You were my best friend. Didn't care about the rules, good on the weekends. I'll be in fools, drifting to deep space. So brave and so stupid, just like the movies. I was gonna stay in the fight with you, just thinking we would do this until we couldn't do it. Each and every high, every night with you. You and me so clueless. We were just broken, shattered, singing along to nothing matters. Stray around like nighttime rumors. We were in too deep in your worn out sweater,
Now, this is an area I was able to get pretty organized when we did have the home organizer come over. I actually hired somebody last year to help me with that big closet I was talking about earlier and this closet as well. And we've been able to keep it pretty well organized since then. My son has been putting out those blankets for the dog since the carpet's gone. When he lays down there, he just doesn't like to lay on the concrete. Obviously, it's not comfortable or warm. So he just tends to lay out those blankets when he wants to hang out down there, but it drives me crazy because then I just have blankets laying on the floor and it makes it look messy. So I'm just trying to kind of pick up some of this area, go through a few of these things. These are the jars that were hanging out in my kitchen for a couple of weeks. My husband stuck them down here when we had my son's graduation party. So now I'm just taking those and putting them into the boxes that we put together earlier, just so they're a little bit more sturdy and they have a place to go. They're going to be protected from dust, and it'll just fit a little bit better into this space. So the day that I'm doing this voiceover is the day after Father's Day. We ended up having a really great day. My husband has been wanting a smoker for many years, but our grill died last summer. So we ended up buying a new smoker pellet grill, and he has been loving it. He smoked a huge, like 11-pound pork butt for Father's Day. It was absolutely delicious, and I made all the sides. My in-laws came over, my dad came over. We had a really nice day. So hopefully you did as well. Unfortunately, these potatoes were way too bad to use. I just had to throw those away. This is a little rack that I can use for drying clothes. My mother-in-law gave it to me a couple weeks ago. I have used it a few times. We do have one outside, but it's a little further from the house. So I do like to have something in the house. And then here is just this area I wanted to show you. It's stayed really organized since she came over. I've been able to get to everything really easily, and I keep it pretty clean and tidy in there. I think that was one of the biggest benefits, was actually spending the money to hire someone to come over and help me. She helped me think in different ways that I hadn't before. So it was definitely worth the money, and I will probably hire her again if we redo our bedroom. Maybe she can come over and help me if I'm not able to figure out the best way to put everything. But I think the biggest thing is just being willing to let go of a lot of the things that we keep that we don't need. So that was really the biggest thing, was just letting go of more than I had been willing to let go of in the past.
I got this boy on my mind that I can't live without. Oh, his eyes are killing me. And he keeps talking about everything that he likes, and I can't stop listening. I'm thinking about him all the time. I'm thinking about him all the time. I'm thinking about him all the time, all the time. And my heart's beating fast when he's looking like that. Oh, his smile is killing me. It's the way that he moves and the way that he laughs, so I can't get enough. I'm thinking about him all the time. I can't get him off my mind. Oh, I want him to be mine, to be mine. My heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah. You know I want him now, 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 now. My heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah. I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it's dark, when it's dark. I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me too. I can be a fighter if you want, if you want. I can be a fighter. I can be a fighter if you want. I can be a fighter if you want. Oh, the way that I feel, yeah, I know that it's real, 'cause I can get him out of my head. I don't care what we do, everything's feeling new, even if we're...
I always try to remind myself, no matter how many times I've gone through it, to try to open up things like this, like containers, boxes that are closed up, just to do a double check to see if there's anything that time that I'm willing or able to get rid of. Now I just wanted to take a few minutes to go on the top of the dryer here. A lot of things have kind of accumulated, again, just being dumped onto there and not being gone through. So I wanted to take out a few things that were left on top, put those into their proper homes throughout the house, and then take that time to actually wipe everything down. I don't know if there's something wrong with the washing machine, but I have been noticing on the bottom there underneath the door that there's always a lot of soap. It almost seems like a drip, and I don't know if it's coming out when I open it and switch everything over to the dryer or if it's actually leaking somehow, but nothing is ever wet on the floor or in the drawer underneath. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. It never really happened with my old set. We got this one maybe a year ago or so now, close to a year anyways. And I never really noticed that before, but one thing that I really wanted to clean was these drawers. It just seems like there's a lot of dust and dog hair that collect inside that opening there, so I wanted to open those up, see exactly what I had in there, and take a few minutes to clear everything out and just wipe everything down. I really do enjoy having these drawers underneath just for storage. It definitely helps to be able to store what you need underneath. But with this particular set, it does make them very high, so it almost seems like the top of the washer and dryer are a little bit high for me, and then if I want to use that shelf above it, I really can't unless I get like a step stool or something. With my other set, that wasn't quite as tall, but I think we might have to switch out the set, maybe the shelf above the washer and dryer, or maybe just put in some cabinets or something. It might be easier to store everything. Plus that way it won't be opened shelving anyways.
I got this boy on my mind that I can't live without. Oh, his eyes are killing me. And he keeps talking about everything that he likes, and I can't stop listening. I'm thinking about him all the time. I'm thinking about him all the time. I'm thinking about him all the time, all the time. And my heart's beating fast when he's looking like that. Oh, his smile is killing me. It's the way that he moves and the way that he laughs, so I can't get enough. I'm thinking about him all the time. I can't get him off my mind. Oh, I want him to be mine, to be mine. My heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah. You know I want him now, 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 now. My heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah. I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it's dark, when it's dark. I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me too.
All right, again, just trying to kind of clean as we go. Some of those items there had to go upstairs. That set went to my dad's house, and those white baskets I ended up putting on the shelf above the washer and dryer. Those jars are going to be donated. And then here's the other box that I was slowly putting in some donate items, and I'm just going to transfer them over to a bag. I actually posted a video last week where I filled up some more of that bag with some items that I had laying around in the kitchen that I wanted to get rid of. So if you haven't watched that one yet, go ahead and check that one out. And then soon we're going to be filling up this box with some items that I want to send off to my son, and then I'm going to show you guys exactly what everything that I put into that box. So don't forget to stay till the end to check that out. And I also need your help in letting me know if I forgot anything, if there's anything else that I should send along with him. All right, so now we're just starting to fill up this box a little bit. This is a silverware package that I ended up picking up at Walmart. And again, I'm going to show you everything later, but I just wanted to pull that out really quick and show it to you. And then we're just going to go through some of the supplies that I have and see if there's anything extra that might be helpful to him when he first moves out there, just so he doesn't have to worry about buying all of the essentials all at once. He'll have some stuff already on hand, and then he can focus on buying some of the other things that he's going to need when he gets there.
Under neon bright lights when I see you dancing on the Polaroids. Just wanna have a good time, don't you? It all goes low, low, low. I don't wanna talk before the moment slowly slips away. Get a little dirty, baby, nothing you ain't gonna take, yeah.
All right, it took several hours, but I finally was able to get it all done. Here's the box that I collected. Again, up in the kitchen, I'm going to show you everything that's in there, but I just wanted to show you how much better it looks now that it's all cleaned off. Most of the piles are gone from the floor. Obviously, there's still some things on the floor, but at least now I know exactly what's there. Everything else is picked up. And again, in just a few weeks, we're going to be coming down here and being able to spend a lot more time finally fixing up the basement as much as possible. We're going to go into his room. Without him here, it's just a lot easier to have a little bit more time. We don't have to worry about displacing him from his bedroom, but everything is cleaned up. The big massive piles are gone, and now I can actually feel comfortable again to go down here and keep it up. And also, the two kids' bedrooms are down here, so I also want them to feel comfortable when they go down there. That's really a big thing as well. So again, here's his closet. I just have to figure out exactly what I want to do with the boxes of jars, but for right now, they're okay where they are. And I just have to find a better home for them. Maybe once I'm able to clear off the shelf a little bit more, or maybe once my son's gone, we can have a little bit more storage as well. Here's everything on the top of the washer and dryer cleared off. All right, so you saw me putting some things into boxes for my son when he moves away, which has just been a couple of weeks now. And I thought it would be fun to go through the box and pull out everything to kind of see exactly what we have, to make sure that I'm not forgetting anything. And if you have any ideas of things that may be useful for him when he goes out on his own, that would be great if you could let me know. He is moving about an 8.5-hour drive away from us, so it's very scary for me. I just want to make sure that he's prepared and that he has everything there to be comfortable. So let's start pulling everything out and we'll go through and see what I have. And I would love it if I'm forgetting something, if you could let me know down in the comments below. That would be very much appreciated. All right, so let's start. So I figured some spices would be good just to get him started. He does have a Walmart and I think a Costco not too far from him. But again, just something to start off so when he's there that first couple of weeks, he can start cooking and getting in some light meals. I figure just having some spices on hand would really come in handy. He does some cooking around the house, but honestly I do most of it, so he doesn't have to do too much, but I know that once he gets there, he's going to have to do more of his own cooking. He's not going to be able to afford to go out to eat all the time. So just some basic spices to get him started. I have this pan that I never use. I figured he could use it. And I have another pan that I'll show you that he's going to take with him. I bought it for him a couple of months ago. He makes an egg every morning, so I figured he could just take that along with him and use that every day. Some tin foil just to start off. More spices. And then I have these pack of cleaning cloths. I have so many cloths that I use. I just don't need them, so he can use them. This is getting kind of scary for me. I'm really nervous for him to go out there. I know he's going to do great, but it's still scary that we're so far away. Some cleaning sponges. We use mason jars for all of our drinks. I have way too many of them, so I'm going to give him some to take along with him. I figured 4 small ones and 4 big ones will be plenty enough. If he wants different cups once he's moved in, he can certainly do that. That's fine. Some spray. He does like to put things in the oven. And then just some all-purpose cleaner. Hand soap. I'm going to send him along with 2. This should be enough to probably last the whole time that he's there. He can just buy one of the smaller containers and refill it as he goes. Some toilet bowl cleaner. I had these extras, a couple of shampoos and a conditioner just to start off. Now, if any of you live in this city or have lived in the city, I never have, so I really don't know the process. Like I said, he's going without a car. So I'm just wondering, like, if he goes without his car, is it better for him to do maybe like a bulk Costco every couple of months, rent like an Uber or get an Uber driver or something to do that every couple of months, or just shop more in the city. I don't know what the prices are like. Obviously, he's going to Pennsylvania, so I don't know what the prices are like there. I think that they're probably different from around here in Massachusetts. But if any of you are from around there, that would be really helpful just to know like kind of what he should do, whether it's just shop locally. I'm kind of thinking if it's going to be a grocery store in the city, it's probably going to be pretty expensive as opposed to going 20 minutes out and going to somewhere like Walmart or Costco or things like that. Just some dish soap from Aldi, a package of cleaning wipes, package of bathroom wipes, and then I did buy him a couple of things. I bought him a new pack of silverware. I just got it at Walmart. And then I also picked up this, it has 4 plates, 4 salad plates, and then 4 bowls, along with the silverware. I think that'll be enough to get him started. And we are sending him along with some money as well that we've been saving up for him, so I think that'll be helpful. And then he's going to start working pretty soon after getting there as well, so he'll have his own money coming in, and he's currently working now. So I'm going to get a couple more things from the bathroom, and I think that'll do it. So let me grab those. Okay, so I just got a couple other things from the bathroom. These are the jars that I was talking about, the larger ones. I'll probably give him about 4 of these if he wants them. Some extra toothpaste, some floss. Again, just so those first few weeks, he is ready to go. He doesn't have to worry about going shopping immediately for those things. An extra spatula that I don't need. I've pretty much gone through my drawers and taken out everything else that I don't want. Everything that's left in there I do use on a regular basis and I do want to keep, but this one I'm willing to let go of. Some sandwich bags. Here's the pan I was talking about. Once he goes, he can take this with him. And then the biggest thing is this, a 36 pack of toilet paper. These things are not cheap, and this will last him a very long time by himself. Here's just a quick look again. I figured the basic spices, salt, pepper, garlic, onion, seasoned salt, those would probably be enough to get him started. And he has plenty of his own soap. He uses like the Sasquatch or something, and he's got a bunch of those because we give them as gifts to him. And I know my mother-in-law and father-in-law are planning to get him like some towels and things like that for the bathroom as well. So I think this should be good for him to start off. So thanks again for hanging out with me today. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that you suggest that I could put aside for him that would help him as a new person moving out on their own for the first time, far away from home. That would be great. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.